Rumors of the Maple Leafs' demise, I think, have been greatly over exaggerated, and I'll tell you why. It is true that they lost Mitch Marner. We get it, it's 100% true, but honestly, I still think they're going to be pretty good next year. I think that the Michelli signing was excellent. I think that getting Nick Waugh was good. I actually don't mind their depth down the middle. I think they're better than most teams because they got Nick Waugh, who is a proper center. John Tavares is signed to a really good contract. You still got one of the best goal scorers in the league. You got a good power forward. Nylander's in his prime. They got a good defense core. They have two really good goalies. So, again, I just don't think this franchise is going to fall apart. Now, with saying that, they still need to prove themselves in the playoffs. Like, you still got to put up or shut up in the playoffs. Period. And that has yet to be seen. We're going to be talking about some really interesting trade rumors, some big trade rumors around the Toronto Maple Leafs today, guys. But welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey. If you could make sure to hit that subscribe button, it would be so greatly appreciated. And thank you so much to those that are already supporting me as well. Now, I do know that I said that I believe the Maple Leafs blue line is a strength. I really like some of their blue liners. I love McCabe. I love Tanev. Riley, to me, I don't like Riley. I've never been a huge Morgan Riley guy. I think that he has kind of fallen off offensively a little bit. I don't particularly like him defensively that much. I think that when guys like him take a step back offensively, it's kind of curtains for them, if you understand what I mean. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are wondering about this trade rumor that we're about to talk about. And well, hold on, why are the Maple Leafs going after a blue liner? One thing that you're going to hear consistently on this channel is that getting blue liners is very important for helping your team offensively, right? So again, I always go back to Aaron Ekblad. He is one of my favorite defensemen for pushing the puck the forward, right? When you're pushing it forward, that's a really good thing because it helps it get into your forwards' hands and he can help your forwards offensively. Defensemen are really good at that, and honestly, the Leafs have a lot of trouble scoring in the playoffs, and a defenseman can actually help that. It's not only about your forwards. And here we have a very interesting couple of quotes. Quote, but according to the Maple Leafs beat writer Howard Berger, Brad Trevling's team has been in contact with a star defenseman, Mikhail Sergachev, regarding a potential deal, though cap space will definitely get in the way, close quote. So they would have to move things around. When this season ended for the Toronto Maple Leafs and they got absolutely smacked by the Florida Panthers, I was saying they should trade Morgan Riley. They should get in his face. They should say, you gotta go. We gotta figure something out. Morgan Riley is just not performing. If you can manage to move Morgan Riley out, you can really make some changes that are pretty exciting for the Toronto Maple Leafs and get another defenseman in there that is quite good offensively. The quote continues. Told the Leafs have talked to Utah about defenseman Mikhail Sergachev, age 27, year 3 of an 8-year contract, cap hit $8.5 million, 53 points last season for the Mammoth. Creative cap work would be required with only $1.9 million in current cap space. I mean, again, I'm not going to harp on this too much. This is the last time I'll say it, but if they could find a way to get rid of Morgan Riley, it would actually work out pretty good. It's not like that's going to happen, though. But here's another really interesting quote of this article that I like. You're adding a player who has averaged 7 goals and 27.5 assists for his career. One that already involves 2 Stanley Cup wins, plus you're giving Toronto a two-way defender, as Sergachev has blocked 90 blocks and 81 hits for his career as well, close quote. So yes, they will get a true, proper defenseman, two-way player, big minute muncher. I will push back that Sergachev is like a really good two-way guy. I think he's fine enough defensively. I would by no means call Mikhail Sergachev as a defensive stalwart, but if you put Mikhail Sergachev in position to succeed, I have absolutely no problem with this at all. It just depends on who they send out. So they would essentially have like 2 power play quarterbacks. Again, what the Leafs are probably trying to do here is they're probably trying to find creative ways to replace Marner's offense. What I said is when Marner went, you got to get more depth in the organization and try to, because you're not going to find another 100-point player. It's not going to happen. So maybe Matthias Michelli can score 55 points. Maybe Nick Waugh can pot some. Maybe you get Mikhail Sergachev and he scores 55 or 60 points and gives you more offense from the back end, and it helps alleviate the offense that you're losing in Mitch Marner. Now, to shift gears away from the trade rumors, I did want to talk about the Mitch Marner interview with Mark Masters. And listen, before I say this, there is no excuse for making anybody feel unsafe, any player unsafe, going to somebody's house, any illegal activity or anything like that. That is never, ever okay. And obviously, I can empathize with his position there. With saying that, though, I think Mitch Marner's mind was made up long before that, and I don't like how he's kind of using this to pad what happened in Toronto, okay? To me, I don't really think he's being honest. We heard a lot of rumors around Mitch Marner that he was, looking for houses and Vegas and stuff like this. I think it is true to say that Marner was checked out of Toronto a long time ago. Now, I do know that Elliot Friedman did say that if they had won that Game 7 against Florida, he doesn't see how Mitch Marner isn't a Toronto Maple Leaf today. I don't think that's true. I just disagree with that completely. I think that he was checked out, although to be fair to Elliot Friedman, he is probably one of the best insiders in the game, so I just very well could be incorrect about that. And here we have a really interesting quote from Steve Simmons. Now, I know Steve Simmons is a bit up and down. He's been right about some stuff, though. He was bang on about Joni Hakanpää. Let's not forget that. So, quote, "The Leafs, doing their due diligence, looked into the situation with Marner, who was still their property at the time. Their security people did the same as part of the regular employment. They found nothing to be concerned about. They wondered about all that's being told, that Marner and Ferris are essentially telling the same story at the same time is indicative of planning a reason for wanting out of Toronto more than anything else, and from their side, hoping fans will still buy this version. Marner, the $11 million a year 100-point victim," close quote. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. So Steve Simmons is saying from the Leafs security people, they found nothing to be concerned about. That's pretty interesting. We don't know exactly what's true, but let's not forget William Nylander would ride the subway in Toronto all the time, so it doesn't seem like it's the most unsafe for players. Maybe you could argue that Mitch Marner was unsafe. I'm not exactly sure what to believe here. I would like to see the evidence. Obviously, I would completely speak out against anybody that's doing any illegal activity ever at all, period. But guys, I am going to leave this video here. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.